everyone, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com, and today's topic is the Arecibo message. And if I'm not pronouncing that right, please put a comment and let me know the correct way to say it so I don't continue to say it incorrectly. But nonetheless, I'm going to move forward here. The question says, I was very surprised to find out that the Arecibo message or response has never been asked on your blog. Can you see who or what was behind the reply message and for what purpose? The message is a 1974 interstellar radio message carrying basic information about humanity and Earth sent to globular star cluster M13. So basically what happened was a message was sent out, and several decades later they received a response. And the real, I guess, question is it a hoax? Did someone do it? Did they really receive a message? What's the real story behind all this? So I, on my blog itself, have a link to both the message that was sent and the message that was received in case you want to do a little more research on your own. So having said that, let me move forward here. When I tuned into this, I saw two men, and they both had dark hair. They were wearing lab coats, and I see that they were scientists. They felt like they were somehow affiliated with a space lab, a science lab, super intelligent, and huge fans of anything techie. They just, somehow I just knew that when I tuned into them. And even though they feel like they were really introverted, when they take off their coats, they reminded me visually of Austin Powers with the mannerisms that they had, how they moved, how they talked, how they looked, just had that kind of a vibe. So very introverted, very intelligent, very scientific, really enjoyed all of the techie kind of stuff in the techie world. That's what these two guys, they reminded me of. And I see that these men, they were completely obsessed with outer space and UFOs. And I even saw them making the Vulcan sign that you see on Star Trek. They would do that when they would pass each other. So when the original message was sent back in 1974, I see that they talked about it, they knew about it, and they just thought it would be so cool to get a message back. So in 2001, their talk started to turn into planning when they devised an idea to leave a crop circle. Finding evidence in crops started to occur more frequently, and people were studying them, and that seemed like the perfect means of communication. So if they were going to transmit a message back, that seemed like the logical way that they would do so. They took the original message and devised a way to create a grid and stamp a new message as a response using basic binary code, which is ones and zeros. But in their situation, this grid that they used, it was more like stomp or don't stomp when you're plotting this out of how you're going to devise this message. So then what I had to ask myself was, why do all this? Is the thing that I really wanted to know. Like, why go through all this effort? Why would two guys, even though you're, maybe this techie guy, why is this so important? And to some extent, I got that they wanted to see if they could even just do it. And it was their hobby, and they were obsessed with all things space. They firmly believed there was life elsewhere, and people were debating it and even dismissing the existence of ETs, which bothered them. They wanted to do something that would spark more research and inspire others to want to pursue the life that they knew and felt already existed. They felt if they could get a message back to Earth, and the communications would continue and studies would be put into space. So they didn't want that to be like a dying thing that people just completely abandon. So overall, great topic. Thanks for the suggestion. Curious how many of you have spotted a UFO out there. I'm a certain, I guess I'm a certain believer that there is definitely life elsewhere, both in this dimension and others. So that's my personal take on it based on my experiences, things I've seen, felt, and so forth. So please share your story as well. I'm sure a lot of people would be really interested, and we could get a really cool communication dialogue going back and forth. So anyway, I will leave you with that before I ramble on too much longer. Thank you so much for listening. Again, I'm Lynn with Psychic Focus at psychicfocus.blogspot.com. Thanks. Bye.